Watch this video, and I'll be right back.
But I'm finding myself in a position now where we're making more money than we've ever made, and we are literally the brokest we've ever been. Brokest we've ever been.
But I'm making the most money I ever had my entire life. My husband and I, between the two of us, gross, make like over $80,000 a year. And if you told me a few years ago that $80,000 a year was not going to be enough for a family of four.
I make more than what I made back in 2015. But I am still literally living paycheck to paycheck.
I have to work 60 hours a week and make $80,000 a year to make ends meet. That's insane. I can't even begin to wrap my head around it.
Financially, I don't understand anymore. I don't understand how I make $34 an hour and I can't function. I can't function. I can't pay my bills.
There's nothing in my life that I can look forward to long term. Like, I can find things that excite me or make me happy or that I'm thankful for in my day-to-day life, but there's nothing in the long run that feels worth it.
I shouldn't be struggling. We make enough money that I shouldn't be struggling.
Watch this video.
What's called inflation. Okay, but hey, I want to say shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel of God, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a quick lesson through the spirit. As you see, this is a video taken from TikTok. And this is a common thing. A lot of times people get on TikTok or these media platforms and discuss their issues with society. You know, their discomforts with society. They discuss their unhappiness or their displeasures with the way that the world is going. Okay, and the simple answer to that question is the fact that you're making more money, but yet it's not being stretched, is because you have what they call inflation. Okay, yeah, you may appear to make more money, but you're often being entered into a higher tax bracket, and the cost of things has seemed to go up because the money is being devalued by the second. Okay, now it's not the fact that these things are worth more, okay, because things really don't increase or decrease in value over time, just depending on what product it is. But the money is being devalued, and that's the reason why you can make $40, $50 an hour on a job, but it's still equivalent to $18 an hour. Okay, because, you know, like I said, inflation, you know, the price of apartments, vehicles, like shit, man. I think during the 2020, 2021, used vehicles, them shits went up. They marked them joints up by 300%. So if you wanted a used car, you might as well been better off buying a brand new one, because you were damn near paying the same price. You know what I'm saying? For a beater. You see? So with that being said, man, you people, you can make more money. You can make $80 an hour, but guess what? When your rent is $6,000 a month, okay, your light bill is every bit of $1,200. Your gas bill is another $2,500. Your car note is $300. Your insurance is $800. Okay, and that's just talking about your car insurance, and then your taxes, etc., your debt. 80 grand don't get you very far, man. Okay. One person can barely live off 80 grand a year. And let's not talk about living in California, Chicago, New York, you know, places with a high real estate market value. You live in those places making $80,000 a year, good luck. Okay, that's like barely minimum wage in order to sustain yourself. Just here in Kansas City, Missouri alone, the inflation rate as far as in the housing market has went up, I believe, like 17% in 1 year. We've seen the highest spike in inflation in the nation in this particular city in 1 year, because they're overbuilding. Okay, they're overbuilding and overcrowding the city. For such a small city like this, they're overbuilding, which is pretty much causing the real estate market to explode, man. And people can't afford it, but they are doing it out of necessity. You know, like these one loss I was looking at last year, and literally, like, I want to say within months, they went up an extra $400 within 1 year. Okay, and you notice how like every year they raise your rent. They did it quick. You know, that same unit that may have cost you $1,000 a month, that shit like $1,400 within months. Okay, so that's what's happening. So you people out there, and this is what I'm talking about, the entitlement, man. Okay, these people in America, they feel overly entitled to the fact because they're Americans that they're owed something. No, your society has been brought up by rape, rob, murder, persecution, thievery. Nothing positive about the way your society has been ingrained in the earth. So what do you have to be entitled about? Okay, you Americans don't know what I mean. You don't really know what hard work is. And I will admit this is a slave-driven culture because the average American works, you know, overtime to make ends meet. But you don't begin to understand the concept of what other nations had to go through in order to give you your sustainability here, which you have not earned. Okay, so now we are seeing the chickens coming home on the roof. Babylon the Great is going to fall, and it's going to fall hard. Okay, so I got a couple quick precepts, but I'm going to look up this definition. You have definition of inflation. It says the action of inflating something or the condition of being inflated or ballooned. And it says economics, a general increase in prices and fall in the purchasing value of money. Okay, policies aimed at control inflation. And one thing that they have to quote unquote attack inflation is raising interest rates, which that's not going to help the people, because if you raise interest rates, people are going to spend more money in order to get goods down, but yet people are going to still be in debt that they can't afford their goods. And when you can't afford the shit, it gets expensive. So it's a lose-lose situation. And Esau knows that, but this is all part of the plan of bringing in the MOTB. Okay, we always say they got what they call Hegelian dialectics, pressure from above, pressure from beneath. Okay, what happens is that they are putting the squeeze on people. Okay, they give you the perception that you're going to get out of this dark tunnel, but really there's no light at the end of it. Okay, so you can make $45 an hour, which is a good livable wage, you know, in most cases. But in this day and age, $45 an hour, you barely make it. You know what I'm saying? You got studio apartments going for $800 a month. You know, something that you was able to shit. I remember when I moved to KC, I was able to get a 1-bedroom for like $525 a month, man. My first bedroom, 1-bedroom, had a big crib. My first bedroom out here was $425 a month. And that was back like in 2012 or something like that. But even then you may say, oh, that's kind of a lot, because, you know, the average salary then you make like 13, 14, 15 bucks an hour. Back then you was able to get away with that. But if you was making like 30 bucks an hour and you had an apartment for $400, like, you winning, you know. But you know, times have changed. Okay, we're in different times. Okay, so this is the book of Genesis 47, and I'm gonna start at verses. Let's start at verses 13. It says here, and there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of famine. Okay, famine, because right now they're talking about famine on biblical levels. Okay, which is going to be an engineered famine, a controlled famine, but nonetheless it's going to be a famine, which is going to set to put people in disarray with one another. Okay, and when you have famine, people can't afford their goods and their products and their commodities and their typical purchases. People are going to lose their mind. Okay, they're going to start revolting. They're going to start taking issues to the streets. They're going to start hunting government officials, cops, lawyers, judges, each other. Okay, first and foremost. But it says, and Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread. For why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. Okay, meaning the money was devalued. Same there with Rome. With Rome, I believe they had what they call the Roman denarius, which is basically like the particular currency they used during the time of the Romans. That currency ultimately was inflated, then it failed. Okay, same thing with Egypt. Okay, and the same thing that's happening to this modern day Egypt. Okay, the money, the U.S. dollar, which is the world's reserve currency since World War II. We are witnessing a killing of the dollar, and the dollar has been dying literally since 71, since Nixon took it off the gold standard. So your money was set up to fail from the get-go. And it was just a matter of time before things skyrocketed, okay, to the point that was beyond your affordability. Okay, this is why you have what they call endless wars. Okay, America goes to war over the dollar and over bullying people to accepting the dollar to keep their economy afloat. But see, through BRICS, now what's happening is the fact that they're not buying into the dollar anymore, so that's going to cause the US dollar to collapse. And when the US dollar collapses, then you're going to have what they call a global financial collapse. And this is why all the nations are shielding themselves from this fall by investing in gold and different currencies, etc. Because they know that the money here in America is going to ultimately fail. And it's going to be chaos, okay? So you people out there that's screaming and complaining, well, yeah, we need a cost of living wage. They can give you 10 cost of living wages, but if the cost of living wage goes up 20, 30 times more, what one cost of living wage gonna do for you? Ain't gonna do nothing for you. And that's what people are not understanding. Oh, I make $40 an hour. Yeah, you make $40 an hour, but you're also paying more in taxes too. Okay? What you don't understand is that inflation is a tax. Okay? But it says, and Joseph said, give your cattle. Now it says, and when the money fell in the land of Egypt, in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came into Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence, for the money felleth, right? Because, once you don't have the goods and necessities you need, then, you lead to other means of violence. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle, if money fail. And they bought their cattle to Joseph, and Joseph gave them the bread in exchange for horses and the flocks, for the cattle of herds and the asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle that whole year. So they had to give up their livestock. They had to give up things that could have made them money, but they had to go to a higher form of government, okay, to get the needs. And this is going to be the same thing here. Okay, they're going to go back to rationing to the point things are going to get so bad to the point they're going to have to barter things off. And when you go into barter, basically you're trading goods for another good. Like if you have some soap or some flour, or you may have a case of water and some shotgun cartridges or something like that, you may say, well, hey, here's my wife. Okay, take her for that bread. People are going to literally be selling their kids into slavery over the want of food. Okay, it's going to get real cutthroat out here real soon. All right, this is why we're warning our people to get right with the Heavenly Father. Because when you go down, it goes into the result of famine. All right, but another precept. This is the book of Ezekiel 7, and I'm going to start at verses. And on top of that, it's because your people are proud as hell, man. Okay, the average American is proud. They're entitled. Okay, they're indicative to what's coming on the planet Earth. Okay, they feel that they have some type of gold coast of exemption from the hell on the planet Earth because they've been led and spoon-fed this false narrative about America being great when this society was never great. Okay, you were just ripe for the picking. But it reads here, it says, behold that day. It says, behold that day. Behold, the day become, it is come, and the morning is gone forth. The rod has blossomed, pride have budded. Okay, when you think of a flower budding, meaning it's sprouting. You see, so when trees sprout or flower, that means that there's an abundance. Okay, so there's an abundance of pride going in Babylon the Great. Okay, from the women, just women being prostitutes, that's glorified and extolled to the heavens in this economy or in this society. You can't shame a woman for having more than one man. You see what I'm saying? Because pride, the pride of life, man. Like you can't shame a Mo for liking another man. You can't do that. Okay, which shows you we got to get the hell up out of here. But it says, violence is risen up into a rod of wickedness. None of them should remain, nor of their multitude, nor of any of theirs. Neither should there be welling from them. Okay, because hey, you people, when you get that sword, we're not going to be mourning you people, man. Okay, we ain't going to be mourning you people crying for more stimulus or crying for more child support or, we ain't going to feel bad for you people, man. Okay, because all you people here in America, you're entitled and you're spoiled, man. Okay, you're really set up you're really set up as a sacrifice that the Lord is going to sacrifice you, man. Okay, and it says here, neither should there be welling for them. It says, the time is come and the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. So, hey, you can have money, you can have businesses, but it ain't going to do you no good, okay? Because when all fails, everything fails. Could be, getting up, going to work, going to get the bag, you know what I'm saying? Being an esthetician, at a station, however you pronounce that. Being a makeup model, a foot model, an Instagram model. It would be bragging and being the most prolific basketball player on the court. Okay, these people like that, they're getting ready to lose. And it says here, for the vision is touching the whole multitude. It says, which shall not return, neither shall any strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life. Okay, because at the end of the day, all your folly is not going to merit you salvation. You know, going down here to verses 18. It says here, they should cast their silvers in the streets, and their gold should be removed, and their silver and their gold should not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They should not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. And they bugging out now. How much more they're gonna bug out when Yahweh Shai really turns up the smoke? Okay, because this is the book of Luke. I think it's Luke 23, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Luke 23, and I'm gonna start at verses 28. It says, but Yahweh Shai turning unto them and said, daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. Okay, you women. He's warning you women. It says, weep for yourselves and your children. It says, behold, the days are coming in which they should say, blessed are the bearing, and the wombs that never bear, and the paps that never gave suck. Because it's going to be a blessing to not have children. Having kids will be a burden on you. Those of you that's not in the spirit. It says, then shall they begin to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. For if they do these things in a green tree, what should be done in the dry? So if they're complaining when you still have means of survival out here, you still have ways to make it. Okay, you can still go out there and get you a career and get you a job and make $100 an hour and live good. You can still live good here if you have the proper connects and means to do so. But they're bugging out now because everything that's extolled them is being taken away. You know what I'm saying? Jobs paying $34, $35 an hour. It sounds good, but when you get that paycheck, it's like shit. It's only $20 an hour. Okay, so you're complaining in a green tree. But what happens when you don't even have that? What happens when you don't have just a bottle of water to drink out of thirst? Or what happens when you don't have a loaf of bread to eat out of necessity? What happens when you don't have a roof over your head in a time of a harsh winter to keep warm? Then what? You see? What happens when you don't have a vehicle to drive? It's going to get real bad real quick out of here, man. Okay? But I'm going to end it there, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom and above all. Shalom.